Hello and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you all the latest news and updates from the country and the world in 30 minutes. Let's begin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi today virtually interacted with the beneficiaries of government's welfare schemes under the outreach program called Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Indian Prime Minister launched the Drone Didi program. He also launched a program to increase the number of Jan Aushadhi Kendras in the country from 10,000 to 25,000. Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is the largest ever endeavour to reach all the villages of the country. It is believed that under this scheme, 100% beneficiary should be covered. As the official presidency of G20 under India's leadership comes to an end on Thursday, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi in an editorial article wrote that this moment is to reflect, recommit and rejuvenate the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future. He further asserted that India, during its presidency, sought to offer the world an alternative to status quo, a shift from a GDP-centric to human-centric progress. Under Rozgar Mela, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi distributed more than 51,000 appointment letters to newly inducted recruits in various government departments and organizations via video conferencing on Thursday. Indian Prime Minister also congratulated the recruits and said that as employees of Government of India, one's top priority should be ease of living of the people of this country. While addressing a press conference, Secretary to India's Ministry of External Affairs, Vinay Quatra, said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in 3 high-level side events, of which 2 are being co-hosted by India. He further said that India is among the few countries which is contributing to achieve its national commitments. The officials say that India has taken a leadership role in shaping the global agenda on climate. India's Foreign Secretary also highlighted India's commitment to help Global South in combating climate challenges. Government of India and its Government of Manipur signed a peace agreement with United National Liberation Front, the oldest valley-based armed group of Manipur, in New Delhi on Wednesday. Indian President Draupadi Murmu reviewed the passing out parade of the 145th batch of National Defence Academy at Khadakwasla in Pune on Thursday. The President also laid the foundation stone of the upcoming building of the 5th Battalion. She said that the NDA is a cradle of leadership that has given birth to great warriors. Addressing the event, the President acknowledged the rise in the induction of women cadets in the Academy since 2022. She also stressed on the hardships a woman has to face to meet her career expectations. Addressing the participants of the 49th Advanced Professional Program in Public Administration of the Indian Institute of Public Administration in Delhi, the Vice President Jagdeep Thankar emphasized that India stands at the front leagues of nations in the domains of land, sky, sea and space. Voting began for the 119 seats in India's southern state of Telangana for regional elections on Thursday. Over 2,200 candidates are in fray. The polling ended by 5 p.m. according to Indian Standard Time. Elaborate security arrangements were made for the polling. Central forces were deployed at over 12,000 sensitive polling station areas. A fully female-operated and fully specially abled operated polling stations were also set up. The Indian government has called an all-party meeting on the 2nd of December to ensure the smooth functioning of both the houses ahead of the winter session of the Parliament beginning the 4th of December. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated the 40th India Coast Guard's Commanders Conference in New Delhi. He lauded their professionalism and initiatives towards maritime safety, security and growth. The INS Kadmat has been deployed to the Northern Pacific. Concurrent flying operations by the integral helicopter and communication exercises undertaken is a testimony to the cooperation between the Indian Navy and Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force. Moving on to business and economy, the Indian markets ended in green on Thursday. Sensex climbed 86.53 points to settle at 66,988.44. Nifty rose 36.6 points to settle at 20,133.2. The Indian rupee slipped 7 paise to close at 83.39 against the US dollar. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of December stood at 62,465 rupees per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Silver futures maturing on the 5th of December stood at 75,771 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. According to reports, India is playing an increasingly important role in Walmart's supply chain. The world's largest retailer is importing more goods from the country, ranging from toys and electronics to pharmaceuticals and food. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development predicts global GDP growth of 2.9% this year, followed by a slight decrease to 2.7% in 2024. According to OPEC Plus sources, the members have tentatively agreed for an additional oil output cut of more than 1 million barrels per day ahead of an official OPEC Plus meeting scheduled to take place on Thursday. The United Auto Workers Union said on Wednesday that it is launching a campaign to publicly organize 13 non-unionized automakers in the US after winning new contracts with the Detroit 3 automakers. Sri Lanka has reached an agreement with the Official Creditor Committee led by India, France and Japan. The agreement will help the nation tap the next tranche of the International Monetary Fund's nearly $3 billion recovery package. Israel and Hamas struck a last-minute agreement on Thursday to extend their ceasefire for their 7th day. Washington said it hoped the truce could be extended further to free more hostages and let the aid reach Gaza. 16 more hostages freed from Gaza as part of Israeli-Hamas truce arrived in Egypt's Rafah. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Israel for talks on truce and aid shipments. According to the officials, the group of released civilians, including Israelis, dual nationals and Thai citizens. Group of 17 Thai nationals who had been held hostage by Hamas in Gaza arrived at a Bangkok airport on Thursday. The United States is hopeful that the truce in Gaza can be extended. U.S. envoy to the United Nations on Wednesday stressed that extended truce is all in the hands of Hamas. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says Gaza Strip was in the midst of an epic humanitarian catastrophe, calls for an expansion of the current pause in the ongoing conflict. World Health Organization says Gaza's health system must be protected as the war-torn enclave faces an increased risk of epidemics and challenges in detecting infectious diseases. World Health Organization warns about the spread of infectious disease in Gaza as internal displacement of the population has caused overcrowding in shelters and other temporary living facilities. World Health Organization notes staggering increase in cases of diarrhea, especially among infants and children, and also detected very serious signals around acute jaundice syndrome in Gaza. Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan stresses that Israeli-Hamas truce is not enough. He also calls for immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Jordan's Queen Rania visits Gazan children cancer patients who had been evacuated from the Gaza Strip to the Hussein Cancer Center in Amman. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attends a ceremony for a new Israeli village that will be built near Gaza, dedicated to the memory of a local council leader who was killed in the Hamas attack. And now let's take a look at the visuals where Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be leaving for Dubai for the Conference of Parties or the COP28 summit that has kick-started from today onwards. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as you can see in the visuals, is now leaving for the COP28 summit, where he will deliver a keynote address at the opening session of the World Climate Action Summit. Besides his address to the COP28 or the Conference of Parties 28, the Prime Minister will also be participating in 3 high-level side events, of which 2 are being co-hosted by India. So if we talk about the side events in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be participating, first of all, the first high-level meeting and the event that will take place is based on the Green Credit Program that was notified by the Ministry of Environment in October this year. Apart from this, the second side event is co-hosted by India and Sweden, and this will be based on Lead It or Lead IT 2.0. Now, this is essentially based on a leadership group for energy transition. So this basically was a joint initiative launched by India and Sweden in 2019 at the United Nations Climate Action Summit in New York. Now, this initiative, the second high voltage side event where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate, will also foster collaborations among the decision makers who bring together both the public and private sectors with the objective of accelerating the industry transitions to net zero emissions. You would also remember that when we talk about net zero emissions and India's voice at such platforms, India has been a very strong voice of the global south. And when we talk about India's participation at such events, and when we talk about event of World Climate Action Summit, India has been very vocal about their fight against climate change. We also heard about Mission Life that has been appreciated at all international forums, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi actively participated, and this was an initiative launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi only. So not only this, climate finance also remains a focal point of this entire event, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be participating. He is leaving tonight for Dubai for the COP28 or the Conference of Parties 28 summit. As the name suggests, this is the 28th edition of COP28. Not only this, India hosted one of the COP meetings back in the year 2008. Now, when we talk about this meeting, this summit where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to participate, it becomes very much important, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now leaving for Dubai on the day when India is concluding its G20 presidency. So today is the last day of India's G20 presidency. We all saw what the New Delhi Declaration had in place for the entire world. It has spoken about climate finance and the fight against climate change. Also, now let's tell you about the 3 summits where Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the side events where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be participating. We talked about the first 2 events. The third event that will be attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be based on transforming climate finance. This will be co-hosted by the presidency of COP28, which is the United Arab Emirates. Apart from that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also scheduled to attend a set of bilateral meetings with many of his counterparts on the sidelines of COP28, World Climate Action Summit in the UAE. So the United Nations COP28 Climate Summit in Dubai opened today, with nations urging to make faster cuts to planet warming emissions and also phasing out of fossil fuels. That remains one of the very important key points at this edition of COP28. Also, notably, this is the single largest platform when we talk about climate change, the fight against climate change, and how to reduce such fossil fuel emissions and also bring the global temperature to the required rate. So those were the visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi leaving for COP28. We will keep bringing you all the latest from Dubai, where our reporters are present on ground zero. Meanwhile, let's continue with Express News. So Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov arrived on Thursday in North Macedonia's capital to participate in the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe meeting. Britain's King Charles III meets President of Nigeria on Thursday ahead of COP28 in Dubai and also held bilateral talks. Hostile fire in Kazakhstan on Thursday killed 13 people, while the remaining 59 managed to escape the fire. According to the Almaty police officials, 9 victims were Kazakhs, 2 people were from Russia and 2 were from Uzbekistan. The fire broke out early in the morning in a 3-story building whose ground and basement levels were occupied by 72 hostel guests. The victims died from carbon monoxide poisoning. North Korea says it will not negotiate sovereignty with the United States, criticizing Washington as double-faced for offering talks while ramping up military activities in the region. North Korea said the U.S. showed double standards at this week's meeting of the United Nations Security Council over North Korea's recent launch of its first spy satellite. Heavy snowfall was reported in India's Jammu and Kashmir in the early hours of Thursday. The local administration has issued advisories against travel. Indian Meteorological Department issued an orange alert for the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh, which is likely to experience a hailstorm along with gusty winds at 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. Indian Meteorological Department has issued a warning that the low-pressure area over the southeast Bay of Bengal is likely to gradually intensify into a cyclonic storm and reach North Tamil Nadu and South Andhra Pradesh coasts on the 4th of December. Various parts of India's southern state, Tamil Nadu, continue to receive heavy rainfall. Schools in the city of Chennai remains closed. 389 cusecs of water has been released from Tamil Nadu's Pudal Lake, also known as the Red Hills Lake, after it reached its full capacity due to continuous rainfall in the region. Heavy rain lashed the northern Indian city of Chandigarh and several parts of Punjab on Thursday, bringing down the temperature by a few notches. Pakistan's 2 largest cities of Karachi and Lahore continue to grapple with toxic smog as residents expressed health concerns after the AQI was recorded to be unhealthy. Heavy snowfall blanketed the streets of Buffalo in New York as a winter storm continued to batter parts of the northeastern United States. A Turkish flag tanker ran aground off the coast of Istanbul early on Wednesday due to stormy weather. Wind speeds were reported to be around 50 kilometers per hour near Istanbul around that time. Authorities have warned an increased risk of bushfires in Australia during the approaching summer. The El Nino weather pattern is expected to generate hotter and drier conditions across the country. A survey of a rare species of black buck deer is underway at the Valanudu Wildfire Deer Sanctuary in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu. The Indian community in Ghana celebrated the India Fest in the capital city of Accra with multicultural performances and a display of the rich heritage of India. The reconstruction of the iconic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris entered a new stage as the new spire's framework was installed on Wednesday. The new spire, made of oak, is designed to be an identical copy of the previous one. The UNESCO World Heritage Site had collapsed back in the year 2019 during the blaze. An archive in Denmark's capital, Copenhagen, is storing samples of ice collected from the Arctic and Antarctica, stretching back millennia that can also help the scientists navigate climate change. The DNA and data obtained from these ice samples are helping climate researchers challenge and adjust their models for predicting climate change and rising sea levels. Britain restricted visitors' access at Edinburgh Zoo on Thursday for its 2 giant pandas as their 12-year stay comes to an end. The pair named Yang Wang and Tian Tian will return to China later in December. The pair had arrived in Edinburgh in 2011 as part of a 10-year agreement. Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City is gearing up to attract 6 million international visitors and 38 million domestic visitors in 2024. Ho Chi Minh City is experimenting with new tourism and tourism products and enhancing existing ones such as its medical tourism, local salt-making trade, footbath therapy and its southern music. The Hanoi Culture and Food Festival is set to kick off on the 1st of December at Thong Nhat Park in Vietnam. Spanning 3 days, the festival will feature 80 booths showcasing Hanoian foods and international cuisine to facilitate cultural and culinary exchange between Hanoi and international participants. Macau's Rui Kuna Foundation opened its annual art exhibition to showcase the artwork of over 30 participants. The exhibition, titled People First and open till the 2nd of December, aims to raise awareness about drug addicts and to end the stigma and discrimination associated with drug use. New York City kicked off the holiday season with the 91st annual lighting of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree in Midtown Manhattan. Guinness World Record holder John Lovitch has created a gingerbread village display of 800 handmade and home-baked houses in Manhattan's Chelsea Market. The exhibit, called Gingerbread Lane, is open to the public until the 7th of January next year, after which Lovitch will dismantle it and give away the gingerbread houses for free. More than 3 hectares of bright red poinsettia plants are being prepared for the Christmas season at a wholesale plant nursery in Ireland's capital, Dublin. The gardens of Villarreal in Italy's Monza city began the Christmas season with the Plots of Light exhibition that treated the visitors to colourful displays involving light and nature. The multi-sensory exhibition that will be open until the 7th of January is based on myths and legends of the royal gardens, where visitors can wander through illuminated trees and magical creatures. Bollywood actor Ranbir Kapoor's starrer Animal is set to hit the big screen on Friday. Over 300,000 advance bookings have already been recorded. Bollywood actor Vicky Kaushal starrer Sam Bahadur release dates to clash with Ranbir Kapoor's Animal movie is set to hit the big screen on Friday. Bollywood actor Akshay Kumar starrer Mission Raniganj is set for its OTT streaming on Friday after its theatre release on the 6th of October. Mission Raniganj is set to start streaming on the OTT platform Netflix from the 1st of December. K-pop artists light up Mama Music Awards show in Tokyo. Fans flock to see their favorite artists perform on the second and final night. Apart from K-pop artists, 17, Zero Base One and Lee Seraphim walked the red carpet and wowed the fans Mama Music Awards show in Tokyo. Mexican rockers Maná are hitting the road to Europe this summer with their Mexico Lindo y Querido tour after a 6-year absence from the continent. The multi-Grammy and Latin Grammy winning superstars will be playing 9 dates in June and July across Spain and their first ever UK show at London's legendary OVO Arena in Wembley. Actor and comedian Eddie Murphy's first Christmas movie, called Candy Cane Lane, a comedy adventure, premieres in Los Angeles. US actress Julia Roberts premieres Layered, a new thriller in London. In sports, England Test skipper Ben Stokes underwent surgery on his much-troubled left knee with less than 2 months left before the start of the Test series in India. Bangladesh scored 213 for the loss of 3 wickets and in their second innings at stumps on day 3 in the ongoing first Test match against New Zealand. India will take on Australia in the 4th T20I in Raipur on Friday. Earlier, Australia made a comeback in the 3rd T20 to register their first victory of the series. The Indian team made a resounding start to its FIH Women's Junior Hockey World Cup campaign by securing a commanding 12-0 victory over Canada in their opening Pool C match in Santiago, Chile on Wednesday. India's Kidambi Srikanth bowed out with a straight game loss in the opening round of the Syed Modi International Badminton Tournament. Unnati Hooda shocked compatriot Akarshi Kashyap by 15-21, 21-19, 21-18 to make it to the second round. Carlos Alcaraz wowed his fans with a straight sets victory over American Tommy Paul in an exhibition match. The Spanish world number 2 cruised to a 7-6, 6-3 victory at Plaza Mexico in Mexico City. International Tennis Integrity has confirmed that Novak Djokovic did not refuse to undergo a doping test at Davis Cup finale. The organization also clarified that the Serbian did not break any rules, as players have the choice to be tested before or after the matches in team competitions like the Davis Cup. International Olympic Committee has named the French Alps as its preferred host for the 2030 Winter Olympics, with Salt Lake City, Utah set for 2034. Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana made 2 bad errors as host Galatasaray twice fought back from 2 goals down to earn a thrilling 3-3 draw on Wednesday and leave the English side's hope of reaching the Champions League last 16 in serious doubt. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere, keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.